Those are my cousin's words, not mine. I don't think I'm wrong. Years ago, our grandfather passed. In his will, he left our family's traditional homestead to me and my cousins. This homestead has over 100 acres and is about 90 minutes from a very large city. We all had equal shares of the homestead, so my cousins wanted to sell it and take the cash. I didn't. The homestead has sentimental values to me and, to be honest, is quite beautiful. There's a large pond on it that is fed by a spring and several forest patches randomly throughout the land. I spent some of my best years, and some of my most precious memories were made on this land. The best part was that the land was given an agricultural tax designation, so the yearly property tax was very low. I also wanted to keep it because I thought it would increase in value due to its location. Back then, several out-of-state companies were talking about moving to our state. In addition, the cities in the area were trying to turn the surrounding areas into Silicon Valley too, so they were courting tech businesses with tax breaks. I thought the land was going to be in a prime location if any of that came to pass. I want to make it clear that none of the businesses moved to our city at that point, and they didn't even say they were moving to our state. In fact, our state was one of many on their lists. I didn't have any inside information, and everything I knew was based on the public news available to everyone. I didn't bring it up to the cousins during our talks. To make a long story short, I bought out their shares at market value. Everything was done legally, and everyone was happy at the time. I held on to the homestead through good times and bad times. I held on to it through many offers from many developers. After about a decade, companies started to move to our state, and many to the areas where I predicted they would. My land's value has soared, and developers call me daily, with some even visiting in person weekly. While I plan to keep the bulk of the land and am living in the house my great-grandfather built, I recently sold 2 acres for 100x the price I paid my cousins for the entire land. When they found out, crap hit the fan. The family exploded, and they are screaming I cheated them out of their inheritance. I pointed out it took a decade for anything to happen, so it was the very definition of a gamble, and I just happened to come out on top. They argue that I should have told them that this could have happened, and I argued I made my decision on publicly available information. Many in the family want me to update their shares, but I refuse. I view it as a business gamble I won. Am I the idiot? Edit. I'm going to answer some questions asked. At the time, I was the youngest of the cousins. I was a senior in college, while the others were between their mid-20s to late 30s. At the time, I was pursuing my finance degree. Some of the cousins didn't attend college while others had degrees. Our grandfather had kids, and he left them money, other properties, and stakes in his business. He left the grandkids the homestead because we all spent our summers there riding horses, fishing, camping, etc. Had I refused to sell, they wouldn't have been able to sell. However, it never got to that point. When they told me they wanted to sell, I asked for a week to think about it. When the week was up, I came back and told them I would buy their shares. We got the property appraised, and we all agreed on the appraised price. I sold everything I had, including my car. I borrowed the rest from my parents. They loaned me the money without interest so long as I kept the house. That wasn't a problem since I loved that place. Not the idiot. They have seller's remorse. Property does tend to increase in value, and they choose to take the money now rather than see their inheritance as a long-term investment. You're fine, but could cut them a tip as goodwill to get over it and move on. Not the idiot, I'm sorry, but how was this a scam in any way? They wanted cash and you wanted the land at the time, and you gave them what they wanted. The only reason they're blowing up at you is because they know you and you're not a random person they sold the land to. However, stop telling family anything about your finances. Story Hub. I, 24M, live with my brother, 22. We are renting an apartment together and have been since he moved to my city for school. Our parents bought the apartment for us to use until we graduated. After I graduated, I talked to my parents and took over paying half of all the bills. When my brother graduated, he also decided to stay. It is a pretty sweet deal. We live in an expensive city, and we could never find something as nice for what we pay. So my girlfriend and I have been together for about a year now. My brother is more of a F*** boy, which is fine by me. Yesterday, my girlfriend, 21, and I ordered Thai food and had supper at home. Then she spent the night rather than go back to her dorm. I like my food hot, and I like the way flavors blend and mellow with leftovers. So I put a bunch of chili sauce in my leftovers so I could take them for lunch today. My brother brought home another Tinder date, so my girlfriend and I went to my bedroom to watch TV and stuff. Around midnight last night, I heard screaming coming from the kitchen, so we got up to check. I guess the random person was hungry and decided to eat my leftovers. Not cool, but I could deal. But she cannot handle spicy food, so she is in a lot of pain. My brother is trying to get her to clean her mouth with oat milk. It isn't helping. She is calling me an asshole for booby-trapping food. I said she didn't buy the food, so why was she eating it? So now my brother is on his way to a convenience store to get actual milk. She was still cursing me out when she left with him. My girlfriend is on my side, but my brother says that I should not have spiced my own leftovers. I told him to pay me for what she ate. That shut him up. I probably wrecked his evening. Don't care. but he keeps texting me and saying that I screwed him over. How dare you add spice to your leftovers, causing a random date who didn't ask if she could eat them pain. This is why you don't randomly eat food from a stranger's fridge without asking, besides it being incredibly rude. Not the idiot, not the idiot. She wouldn't have burned her mouth if she didn't steal your food. Karma was instant and deserved. If you're enjoying the video, drop a like. My ex has taken a lot of pictures of me and our baby in the last 2 months, even though I hate having pictures taken of me right now. He knows I hate it, but he keeps telling me I'll regret it later when our son is older if I don't have these pictures, and promised he wouldn't show anybody else them. I ended up deleting the majority of them when he left his phone unattended, because I hated them, and he had pictures of me breastfeeding, which I don't want him to have even if you can't really see anything. I never told him I did it, but he noticed recently, and is mad at me for touching his phone without permission, and deleting the pictures even though I only deleted the ones with me in them. During one fight, I called him a pervert for taking pictures of me breastfeeding, and I threatened to move out if he didn't stop bringing it up. Things are awkward and tense between us now as he's still angry with me, so am I the idiot? You're the idiot for sexualizing breastfeeding, calling him a pervert, and going through his phone. You have a right not to have your picture taken, but I agree with your ex that you'll regret it later, and your child will miss out on those memories as well. He essays you for going through his phone without permission, and him for disrespecting your wishes to have those photos removed. You two need to discuss this again, but keep it calm. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. My daughter had a nasty fall and I had to take her to the hospital as she hit her head and couldn't move her arm without crying. This happened at my brother's house, so he came to the hospital with me. He kept bringing up how I needed to tell my ex, and I asked him to do it as we only separated 2 months ago, so things are still rough between us. My brother called him over 20 times, but he only answered when he used my phone to call him. He came to the hospital, and when my brother left to get some food, he started telling me off for not calling him myself since I knew he only answered specific calls while working. I told him to stop speaking to me, but he kept bringing it up, and my brother sided with him when he got back. You're the idiot. If you didn't want to talk to him, a text. If your daughter was with him and sick or injured, you want to know. I wouldn't call your ex an idiot for this situation, but not very bright. 20 calls implies urgency to most people. You're the idiot. It doesn't matter if you are good or not. He is your daughter's father, so you have to inform him. And if he was busy, it's obvious he won't answer his ex-brother-in-law. Story Hub.